It is a good thing that you have decided to deal with procrastination by listening to this audio. Of course, if you have procrastinated, you won't be listening here right now. Yes, it is true that procrastination is not easy to deal with. I understand that it is also very tempting to listen to the first audio in this series and then listen to the others later. Unfortunately, later always turns into the present. And as we feel the pinch of the present, we try to come up with another later to make ourselves feel better that we will get things done eventually. This disruptive cycle continues until we run into serious problems involving broken relationships, lost income opportunities, or even death through sickness. It is indeed very scary to think about the destructive aspects of what the effects of procrastination can have on oneself. The interesting thing about procrastination is that procrastinators aren't born. They are, in fact, made. What's the difference between a successful person and a procrastinator? The successful person has learned to deal with procrastination. So in essence, every single one of us are procrastinators. So, why do we procrastinate? Really, it comes down to one very simple reason. We don't want to do it. The solution lies in convincing your mind that it is pleasurable to do those things we are avoiding. The only difference between a highly successful person and a heavy procrastinator is that the first one knows how to deal with procrastination more effectively. That's it. Overcoming procrastination is something absolutely anyone can learn. In the next audio in this series, we'll get started. We will identify the three major types of procrastinators and how to begin to overcome procrastination. How to finish what you start. In the last audio, we started to talk about some of the destructive aspects of procrastination and why we procrastinate. Today, we will identify the three major types of procrastinators. It's true that busy people can be the worst procrastinators. Every time to speak with them, they are busy, busy, busy. Always in a hurry, they are constantly rushing around. In some cases, the reason is that subconsciously it makes them feel superior to be doing many things. But in reality, they are simply poor managers of their time. They are inefficient at time management and often highly disorganized. If this is you, then it's very important to take an inventory of what you're doing and to improve your organization and time management skills. However, time management is not the cure. Telling a procrastinator to buy a day planner is like telling someone who is dressed to simply cheer up. However, improving one's organizational and time management skills are completely doable tasks. For example, do you understand the subtle difference between doing things right and doing the right things? If you always seem to have no time and never seemed to be accomplishing your goals, then you are probably not doing the right things. The cause of this is that you are likely task-oriented and need a little shaking up in that area. Dr. J.R. Ferrari is a co-editor of Procrastination and Task Avoidance, Theory, Research, and Treatment. And other researches have shown similar patterns in habitual procrastinators. The three types of procrastinators are arousal procrastinators, are thrill seekers who get a rush from leaving something until the very last minute and then working like a whirlwind to complete the task. The second is avoidant procrastinators. They are insecure. They shirk because they fear failure. The final type is decisional procrastinators. They seemingly can't make a decision, and in their mind, not making a decision absolves them of the responsibility of the outcome of events. There are big costs to procrastination, and the biggest is usually your health. Colds, headaches, stomach issues, and neck or back pain are just a few examples of the health costs that procrastinators pay. They lead very stressful lives, and procrastinators tend to consume more alcohol among those who drink. It's another example of coping mechanism that is in place to disengage from the feelings of stress and avoidance. Why is procrastination destructive to our lives? Procrastination is subtle, really subtle. The way it works is so subtle that it eats away ferocious amounts of time and we don't even realize it. How innocent it seems to let time slip by. We deceive ourselves into dealing with it the next minute, next hour, or the next day or month. Somehow, we always feel that it will somehow get done by itself. Yet, at the end of the day, there still isn't enough time to get things done. We know that life gives us its fair share. 24 hours a day to the rich, poor, famous, invalid, busy, or lazy person. Time is fair in the sense that we have the choice to do exactly whatever we want with our 24 hours. You get only 24 hours, not a second more or less. What makes procrastination so deadly is the fact that life is full of sob stories on how people had such a wonderful plan and a great idea that somehow never came to life or conceptualized in the real world. Imagine if Albert Einstein procrastinated and decided to write the theory of relativity much later while he played with his dog now, assuming that he had one. Or if Thomas Edison decided to invent the light bulb once he has got things out of the way. Perhaps today we will still be using candles. This is just a hypothetical example, but you get the idea how destructive procrastination is. Procrastination must be dealt with. Period. You have to be very clear in your mind what the destructive efforts of procrastination are and how you must deal with it now, not later. In the next audio, I'll talk about the general mindset on how to deal with procrastination. Dealing with procrastination, what we are up against. Dealing with procrastination, what we are up against. How do we deal with procrastination? First, we must be very clear that procrastination is a symptom of many flawed characteristic traits. There is no action in the world that is taken without any form of motivation behind it. However, most motivation can be summarized into two forms: gain motivation and prevention motivation. In other words, prevention of pain. It is a crazy mind game, but somehow you will find that most people are able to motivate themselves in ways that allows them to defy the odds and accomplish great things. They have 2 hands, 2 legs, 2 eyes, and 1 mouth. What makes them normally different from the rest of us? Motivation. No one procrastinates something in and of itself. There is a reason behind everything. There are many forms of motivation that I can share about now. One of it is by doing something that you enjoy. Most people who are struggling with starting a business, for example, find that the more their business is focused on their favorite hobby, the more they will work hard at it. Working at something you like doesn't feel like work. People drag themselves out of bed every morning to go to work, but wake up extra early to head on to the golf course. Why? Motivation. Find what motivates this mindset. Useful time management strategies. In the second audio in this e-course, procrastinators that are busy people. In fact, busy people can be the worst procrastinators. Every time to speak with them, they are busy, 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 always in a hurry. They are constantly rushing around. In some cases, the reason is that subconsciously it makes them feel superior to be doing so many things. But in reality, they are simply poor managers of their time. They are inefficient at time management and often highly disorganized. You can sit down and analyze, read a dozen books about self-motivation, and even talk to others about it, but it all counts for nothing if you don't take practical measures. As a matter of fact, you have made tremendous progress fighting procrastination by listening to this audio series so far. If you have completed the course in 5 days, congratulations! If you are listening to this after 5 days, shame on you. We have covered a lot on procrastination, but I have a suggestion on how to apply these things into real life. One of the most practical applications you can do is to write down a to-do list. A list of things to do each day and week is a valuable aid to managing your time and eliminating inefficiency. What it does is that it helps you organize your thinking and planning into a sheet of paper. When you write things down on a list, your mind becomes focused, like the example of the archer above. Your subconscious mind starts formulating strategies and creating solutions on how to solve your problem because it is narrowed down to something small and easy to read. I have already said everything that I can say for now. It is all up to you to make that decision, and that decision is to overcome procrastination once and for all. Take action now and don't procrastinate. It's time to take your life back.
Learning how to overcome self-sabotage. Now, most of us do not realize how powerful our subconscious is. Now, this part of our mind has a huge influence on our actions and inactions. Many of us attribute our failures and lack of success to bad luck. We go on with our lives not fully aware that we have got anything to do with the events of our lives through subconscious sabotage. The truth is, we are the ones that create the circumstances that make us fail. What can we do to triumph over self-sabotage? The first step is to become fully aware of our fears and emotions. Once we are aware of the causes that lead to unproductive actions, we can then proceed to prevent these things from happening again. What happens when we inflict self-sabotage? Well, let's look at the repeated lack of success of so many people who say they want to lose weight. Most fail to get the outcome they aim for. What we need to ask is, do these people really want to lose weight? Even if they say so, they may actually feel secure with what they have. They may have doubts about what will happen when they lose weight and are actually frightened about it. Inwardly, they might feel as if losing weight will expose them. So even if they say they're doing everything to lose weight, they do not control their diet, neglect to exercise, and keep making excuses. Here's another example. A huge number of individuals fail to show up for interviews, including those that are offered highly desirable positions. They may have valid reasons, but their subconsciouses might have created these situations. Perhaps a stay-at-home mom decides she needs to return to the workforce to earn money for her family. What she really wants is to stay home with her children, but she feels obligated to get a job outside the home. So, instead of applying for the perfect position, she applies for jobs that she knows she's not qualified for, or jobs that require hours incompatible with her family schedule, so she has to turn down the job if it's offered. Subconsciously, that's her way of ensuring she won't have to leave the home, and at least she can say she tried to get a job. These people might have the subconscious belief that they do not deserve the outcome, mainly because they're concerned about how others will perceive when the new status quo is achieved. What they do is to unwillingly act such that they end up failing. Self-sabotage is unconsciously done, and even the saboteur does not know that he is just fooling himself. The doubt and uncertainty in their mind makes them do certain things that would ensure failure instead of success. And outwardly, they claim that they have done their best, but luck is not on their side. Does this describe your own behaviors in the past? Have you been your own saboteur? And how many times did this happen? If you're not achieving your goals, even if you are doing everything you think you are capable of, then think on it. The good news is that we can overcome this self-destructive behavior. The first and most crucial step is to learn to recognize that it is happening. And we can do this by developing the skill to be consciously aware of our emotions, thoughts, and actions. What you can do not is sit down and look back at the past setbacks that prevented you from achieving your objectives. Could you have avoided all those obstacles? If there are too many things that come up to prevent you from succeeding, then you might have unconsciously committed self-sabotage. A great way to get in touch with your conscious mind is by spending time in quiet meditation. And when you start doing meditation, you can ask yourself what your fears and uncertainties are. When you're aware of the discomfort and reservations that you have about a certain goal, write them down. Using a journal to write these questions and answers can help, because writing can help you to connect with the deepest part of yourself. It might take time and practice, but exploring these possibilities can dramatically help you to get out of the self-sabotage rut. Now, when we finally understand that we are in control of our own success, we'll be set free from all limitations. Once you achieve clarity, then you can focus your energy on more productive activities and finally end the cycle of self-destruction.